All right. Well, thankfully, I mean, this is not hard to understand. It's similar to AP, as in like, with discounts when it comes to AP. Like, there could be 110. If it pays before 10 days or within 10 days, then you get 1% discount. Otherwise, net 30, like you have to pay within 30 days. Net 45, you got to pay in 45 days. Notes. I don't believe notes really have discount. Um, do notes have a discount or premium? Notes are more short term a lot of times, but I guess uh, yeah, notes could also have discounts and premiums. But a lot of times these notes could be only like up to like 3 months. But they could also have so like notes could also have a premium or a discount. So like for example, let's say that a bond. So like there's two sides of this, right? There's a bonder, okay, and the bondee. So the bonder is the one that's giving up, and then the bondee is the one taking the loan out. So here's a bonder, all right? Let me show you guys. So the bonder, for example, they would be the one lending the money. So for example, if it was a bond, let's see, bond receivable, okay, of 100,000. Well, really they would probably put a bond out for $1 million, and then they would give it out cash. It goes at par, and then the bondee would receive cash. Like let's say they put it out at par, and for whatever reason, the market has also decided like the market rate is also at par. Like everything's at par for some reason. I don't know. Let's just say, so to speak. Then it would be like such. If not only the interest rate is at 5%, but the market value, the market interest rate is also 5%, so it's at par. Very unlikely, but possible. If, for example, the market rate, for example, is like 10%, but the interest rate is 8%, so the market rate is higher than interest rate, then there will be a discount on the side of the bonder. If that makes any sense. So for example, 98, they issued it out in 98. So for example, well, let's see, though if it's at 98 times 0.98, the bondee would receive 98,000 cash, right? But then the full amount, as in like the bond payable, is still $1 million. So what this is a discount on bonds payable. So you can see that they've received less cash. The bondee has received less cash for the same amount of bond. And the bonder, they would only have to put out, they would still have a bond receivable of $1 million, but they would only have to give out 980,000 in cash and discount on bonds payable 20,000. And for example, if at the time of when it would have to get repaid, and if, for example, if it's compounding interest, it would increase. It would add to the principal. But if it's simple interest, then like there might just be an interest payment, right? So interest expense, for example, blah blah. But like at the time of maturity of the bond, like let's say the bond was for 10 years, at the maturity of the bond, when the principal has to be paid in a lump sum, what would happen is that the bond payable would have to get paid $1 million. And they would have to pay the full amount in cash. They would have to pay the full amount back. The bond, because this is a debt that they have to pay back to the bonder, and then the bonder would receive cash of $1 million. And then the bond receivable like such. Is that correct? Let's see. Yeah, so like that is pretty much what you would see. All right, there's amortization of the discount. Man, the amortization of the discount. So the discount on the bond actually gets amortized. I don't know if this says anything about the amortization of the discount on the bond. Here's this. Here's the discount on the amortization. Here's the amortization.